These quotes relate to our interview because the quote on the left points out how we the people make up the church and not the building itself, and the quote on the right points out how the church strengthens our faith in the Lord.
How was the way you became man/woman of God different to the way your parents and other generations became religious?
Um, like my parents raised me to be a religious person.
What is the most valuable insight your parents has given you when when it comes to growing your faith in the Lord?
Basically just never give up on God.
So how has the church, the Catholic Church, help you combat the everyday struggles that you face?
It allows me to relax about like my school and stuff. Yeah, it makes life easier.
So Beryl, how was the way that you became a man of God different to the way your parents and other past generations in your family became, people of Christ?
Well, you see, back then, they were kind of forced to be the religious person they are today. In this generation, we get to choose who we want to be. And I still chose the same way as my family, so not much has changed.
Yeah, but why?
Because it's a religion my family follows, so I must follow back, and I agree with the religion.
Okay. Last question, Beryl. What is the most valuable insight that your parents have given you when it comes to growing your faith?
That God will always be there for me in the tough times, and to keep praying no matter how hard it gets.
All right. Thank you so much, Beryl.
problem.
Appreciate that.
No problem.
Subscribe to the channel.
Why do people find comfort in following other people's beliefs?
I think people find comfort in following other people's belief because they don't really trust themselves. So when they're following someone else's belief, it kind of helps them validate what they're doing and why they're doing it.
How was the way you became a man or woman of God different than the way your parents and other generations became religious?
I think the way that I became religious is different the way my parents became religious because I practiced religion more. My parents put me in Catholic school, so it was ever present for me. With my parents, I think it was, you're Christian, you're Catholic, and it wasn't emphasized all the time. It was just, that's what they were. I think for me, I grew up in a different way because, I did go to church and I did experience that community of the religion, not just I'm a Catholic, but I'm a practicing Catholic.
The interview response that most surprised me was the one that said that the church is a place of refuge when it can also be a place of worship and prayer, and you don't really need to be suffering to go to church. A similarity is that they were all born into the religion or introduced to the religion by their parents, and the difference is that some people go further from their parents and extend their faith in religion, while some just follow the path of their parents and go to church every once in a while and don't really put the extra effort into their faith. The three things I learned from the interview is that most people are born into their religion. Most people are taught by their parents to never stop believing in God and to trust Him, and that gaining reassurance and faith from other people is like an easy way out from finding your true faith yourself.
Three things I learned from the interview is how people find comfort in other people's beliefs and how we the people make up the church. I also learned that people grow up differently into their religions. I also saw one difference where people are stronger in their belief than others. One answer that surprised me was where some generations might be stronger in their faith than their parents because their parents put them through Catholic school.
So some of the things I learned from the three interviews was that people really had the interest to follow God. To the degree, the degrees differed per person, but
you know, in a general aspect, everyone was interested in following the Lord's work. And so, as I said earlier, there are differing degrees of passion for the faith. There are people that I encountered that were very passionate and were very positive and had good vibes and were looking forward to follow through with the Lord's teachings each and every single day. Others not as much. But yeah. Something that really struck me in one of my interviews was that a person said that they used the Lord as a good example, and as a good example, they used him as someone that would give them refuge and comfort in times of negativity, and also those times that we're grateful for all the good things we received. Also that they would be refuge in the sense that they would help them with their studies and family elements of their lives and other things.
3 things I've learned from the interviews is that people in the church have similar beliefs, most people have parents that are religious, and that people find comfort in the church. A similarity is that they are all religious, and a difference is that they all follow Jesus in their own way. The response that surprised me the most was when it was said that past generations were kind of forced to be religious, because it was something I never thought of.